Rise and Shine Rwanda, it's Monday the 28th of April.
Coming up on today's Rise and Shine Rwanda. Another report, another pole position for Rwanda when it comes to being an ICT hub.
Buffaloes age 1,000 hills in a rugby thriller.
And we learn how to work the sweat while rocking your baby bump in today's Motivation Monday.
Good morning, it's just after 7 o'clock in the morning and you're watching Rise and Shine Rwanda with me, Regis Isheja.
And me, Makeda Mahario. Over the next hour, we'll be bringing you all the latest news, sports, and lifestyle headlines from here in Rwanda and around the world. And the Rise and Shine team are here with us in studio. It's Monday morning. You guys are looking very lovely. You're looking very bright, even though you're dressed in black.
Too. They're matching.
That's how it be, yeah?
Oh, look,
Very
Regis,
cool like
This is
that.
a black ship for today.
Yes, I am.
what do we have in the world of business?
Well, in business today, we get to learn about how coffee export is about to get new investors. Really interesting stuff. So our coffee is going to go a long way. We should be very excited.
Okay, I'm actually needing some right now to
Yeah,
wake me up.
absolutely.
And what about you, Arnold? What's in the world of sports?
A lot of rugby has been taking place this past weekend. I have from local rugby to international rugby, and Rwanda is going to host the Sekafa Senior Challenge Cup. More details.
And you're wearing San Antonio Spurs colors, I like that.
Let's not get there. Let's not get there.
All that and more is still to come, but first, Rise and Shine, story of the day.
This past week, the World Economic Forum released its annual report on government success in ICT promotion, and Rwanda topped the list with the next African country on the list, Kenya, coming at number 21. A tribute to the government's quest for the country to become more and more an ICT hub, but also a way to measure how far we've come and what's left to accomplish. Take a look. The World Economic Forum report assessed 143 countries based on their capacities in information and communication technology sectors. The government has invested a lot in building IT infrastructures with the goal of accelerating the country's development.
This report is one of the reports that we have been following for several years now that benchmark the way countries, the progress made by countries, but also ranking, and they have various indicators. For us, it came as, it means two things. Number one is it's recognized the effort of the government to promote ICT. In fact, one of the indicators called government success in ICT promotion, which is one of several indicators, put Rwanda as number one out of 143 countries that were ranked with this report. So we take it as a sign of recognition of all the investment and all and through all the initiatives that the government has done together with the private sector in this country, a valuable feedback for us that we are doing the right things at this time.
With Rwanda topping the world when it comes to government success in ICT promotion, understanding what got us there and how to keep at it is the main goal for the Ministry of Youth and ICT.
We revise our planning and we look at what we can do better to improve this. In fact, globally, when you take all the indicators, we are number 83 out of 143. So you understand we still have a long way to go. In the region, we're number one. In Africa, we're number 5. But all of this means that definitely there are areas of improvement, and that will be our focus. Will be taking time to derive practical actions that need to be made.
With the report showing Rwanda's evolution, is rural Rwanda on par with what's happening in the cities?
ICT is beyond just providing a network. It's a whole ecosystem we need to put in place. Number one, we would like to continue to extend the access network. You're most likely aware that five months ago we started rolling out 4G in the country, in Kigali, and now, as 3 weeks ago, it's also reached 4 additional cities: Rusizi, Huye, Musanze, and Rubavu. So now we have 5 cities covered by 4G. But it's still going on, so we want to cover all the places in the country, because our target is to literally reach 95% of the population. And those are not only plans, that's the rollout schedule that we have, and we would like to achieve it by 2017.
More success to come. Regis Isheja, Rise and Shine Rwanda. And joining us in studio now is Didier Nkurikiye-Mfura, Director General in charge of ICT at the Ministry of Youth and ICT. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Didier. Now, the thing I want to talk about mostly is when you remember where this country was 21 years ago, having to rise from the ashes after, those who perpetrated the genocide having left nothing. And to see us being named, to see Rwanda being named number 1 when it comes to the government promotion of ICT in the country, I think that's a pretty great feat. How did we get there?
Yes, you're completely right. It's for us, it came as really a sign of recognition, because, as you say, 21 years ago, this country was completely in ashes and there was almost no hope. But this country is a completely transformed country today. And today you can see hope in the eyes of the people. The leadership of this country has completely created a new chapter for Rwanda. And when we started from nowhere. We didn't have some of the competitive advantage other countries have, especially because they're near the sea. We didn't have all of that, but
Right.
It's all started by a clear vision and a clear goal. And this has been driving us all these years since we started these ICT plans in 2000 till today. We have been able to achieve all of this because of the clarity of the vision and also this hope that has been passed to us and the other generations that these things can become possible.
Now, you talk about having a clear vision. Tell me, what exactly is the vision? Where will Rwanda be ideally? I know that, we want a cashless society and different things like that, but where do you see us going, let's say in 10 years?
Well, we want to create socioeconomic opportunities for Rwandans. We believed from the beginning that ICT can really contribute to this economic welfare, this prosperity that Rwanda wants and Rwanda deserves. So all the investment that have been put is just to create a favorable environment for it to happen. So what we want to see tomorrow, in next 5-10 years, we want to see companies with very humble beginnings become huge companies, employ more people, and want overall this economic development to attain every Rwandan. Not only people live in the cities, but also want someone in a village, someone in a smaller city to dream about something and to bring it to reality. Because what ICT does is remove borders. An idea can quickly become global because there is simply no borders with IT.
Now, when you think about IT, ICT, and you look at the infrastructures that the government has been able to put in place, and then you think about the Hehe Labs and all these other infrastructures, but also you think about initiatives like Youth Connect. Is it with the youth that will be able to not only stay on top when it comes to these kind of lists, but also, prosper on the long run?
I'll say yes, it's the youth, but not only the youth. Really, it gives opportunity to everyone. Why we think youth will play a major role is because we all know that more than 75% of this population is below 35 years old. So we really have a youthful population. And that's where also you have the most active population today. And also most of the innovation, we've seen it in the past, come from the youth, from people with youthful.
Right.
So we want to give this opportunity to them, and we want to tell them this is your time. What we're doing today, what the government is doing today, is simply to unlock all the possibilities, all the dreams which our youth have, but they simply didn't have an opportunity to do so before because we didn't have the right environment. Now it's happening, and want to tell them there's nothing that can stop them actually to reach their goals and reach their dreams.
What are some ICT solutions that you think are being underused, that a lot of people could be doing and they could be utilizing, but they're not?
Well, I'll say first of all, we have a lot of potential, because I think today the way people use, for example, the internet, we underuse it. Most of the people do probably social media. They'll probably use it to connect, which is good, because we live in a society where we need to connect and share. But we think that we can actually go beyond, because there's such a vast amount of knowledge available for each of the sectors where someone want to specialize in. So if you want to do, let's say you want to develop, let's say an application that's help your business to prosper, there are plenty of resources that you can touch. If you want to know market price, if you want to know to understand the demand of a certain product locally or globally, a lot of information is there. So we feel that that's where serious people want to build serious business, need to spend a bit more of the time. Of course, in the past we had issues of infrastructure, but I'll say with time, and as time is going, we have one of the best infrastructure in the region, in the continent also, and we hope actually we can provide just the right foundation so that people can build on this foundation.
I feel like that's definitely
absolutely. I was gonna ask. I know we're time restrained, but I was just gonna ask you. Someone told me last night on the street when I told them you were coming on the show. Someone asked me, why would ICT be important for Jean-Michel Harerimana, who lives in Gichumbi, somewhere really removed from cities? Why would ICT speak to him?
Quickly, before we have to wrap up.
Exactly.
Yes. I think what it means for a simple person is that you are no longer constrained by where you live, the people you live with. You can simply connect to literally the world. So it means that anything that you can, that person has been cherishing, there is a possibility to actually share it to the rest of the world.
Director General Ngorikim, for that, thank you so much
for
coming, and welcome back anytime.
Thank you.
All right.
You're watching Rise and Shine Rwanda. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Connect to Lusaka 3 times a week starting 27th March. Enjoy comfort and safety at affordable fares to 17 other destinations across Africa and the Middle East.
Fly our dream to the heart of Africa.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda. Let's get to today's business headlines. Fidelis Karangwa has the details.
Business stories making headlines today. Rwanda's coffee exports to the U.S. could soon increase after more investors pledged to buy the country's specialty coffee. This was mentioned during the 27th Annual Specialty Coffee Association of America exhibition in Seattle, Washington, where over 1,000 coffee traders visited the Rwandan booth. The exhibition enabled local coffee exporters to network with American specialty coffee importers, roasters, and retailers. The National Bank of Rwanda has been urged to come up with regulations to increase uptake on cashless transactions. This comes after research revealed that the use of point-of-sale and mobile financial services in the country is still low, despite statistics showing that it is picking up pace. It has been attributed to lack of regulations, which have resulted in the concentration of infrastructure in urban areas while excluding the larger population in other areas. And banks are still reluctant to finance the East African Community Exchange's electronic warehouse receipt system. Although the exchange signed a memorandum of understanding with the Rwego Opportunity Bank, EcoBank, Guarantee Trust Bank, and Bank Populaire of Rwanda, the banks are yet to start financing farmers, which has forced them to sell off their produce at a giveaway price to meet their financial obligations. This has raised concerns that the market could also drastically reduce the business of the exchange, which survives on the commissions of the warehouse services and use of electronic platforms for trading.
Tell us, what do you have for us in the rest of the week?
Well, it's an exciting week. We get to learn about other app developers who are going to make it so easy for diaspora people to send money to people in Rwanda. So everything from paying your school fees, if you're not in the country and you want to send money to your little sister or little brother, it's going to be super easy thanks to these apps. And we get to learn about a company called Deloitte, which deals in accounting services. So really good stuff. And I'm sure very many business owners will be eager to learn how the taxes could be done for them by this company.
The money.
Always keeping us informed. I love it.
Well, you're up to date today's business headlines. Post news coming up next in just a minute with Arnold Quizera.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda. Time now for your sports news. I'm Arnold Quizera. Starting with football, the Council for Eastern and Central African Football Association, CECAFA, has given Rwanda Football Association FERAFA the rights to host the 2015 CECAFA Challenge Cup in November. The CECAFA meeting held in the Kenyan capital, Nairobi, decided that this year's CECAFA Challenge Cup will be held in Rwanda, while Tanzania will host the Kagame Cup Club Championship in Dar es Salaam in July. The 2014 CECAFA Senior Challenge Cup didn't take place after none of the 12 member countries expressed interest in hosting the tournament on short notice. The Kenyan Harambee Stars are the defending champions after they defeated the Falcons of Sudan 2-0 in the final 2 years ago in Nairobi. Uganda is the most successful country with 13 titles. Still with football, Real Madrid kept the pressure on Barcelona as the race for the La Liga crown heats up, with both rival teams picking up victories over Malaga and Valencia respectively. And Luis Suarez's goal after just 56 seconds put Barcelona on their way to a scrappy 2-0 victory over the fourth-place team in a match in which Lionel Messi scored his 400th goal for the Catalans. Cristiano Ronaldo scored his 50th goal of the season as Real Madrid put 3 past Malaga to remain within touching distance of their Catalan rivals. James Rodriguez and Sergio Ramos were also on the score sheet for Real Madrid. Moving on to rugby, Chiefs were the only team to register victory over the weekend, with away sides picking up points at the halfway stage of this year's Super Rugby competition. Stormers scrapped a nail-biting 13-6 victory over the Western Force in Perth thanks to a penalty try after a dominating performance from the scrum. Joey Peterson missed a last-minute penalty to hand the Queensland Reds an 18-17 victory over the Cheetahs in Bloemfontein. Bulls won 17-10 away to the Sharks on a weekend when the Hurricanes' unbeaten run was ended by the Waratahs in New Zealand. Muhanga Puma, 1,000 Hills and defending champions Buffaloes will tussle it out in this year's National Rugby League 15's playoffs after the regular season came to an end. The final 4 teams in this year's National Rugby League playoffs have already been determined, but this did not stop the top 2 teams from Kigali to put on a show at the Utextra grounds over the weekend. Defending champions and favourites Buffaloes Rugby Football Club ran in 2 tries to claim a psychological upper hand over the much younger team, despite being down to 14 men after having a player dismissed for foul play. The first half ended 3-3 after halfbacks Lucien Benjamin and Isimbi traded penalties, although the Buffalo scrum continued to dominate the lighter opponents. Buffaloes were quick out of the blocks after the restart and turned their territory and possession dominance into a try, although the team from Gatenga had themselves to blame for a number of clear-cut missed chances. 1,000 Hills captain Ivan Muhire blamed the performance on a few individual errors and promised his team would be ready for the playoffs.
Umukino ko twari twawuteguye ntabwo ari kwagenze, habayemo udukosa duke tukagiye tuba muri defense, ariko turizera ko ubutaha kazabikosora tugatsinda. Icyizere kiracyahari ko turi muri semi-finals, dushobora kwitwara neza tugatwara igikombe kuko amakosa twabonye twakoze twizera ko twakosora tukagitwara.
His Buffalo's counterpart Kamali Vincent noted that discipline is affecting his team's performances, but was confident that his team will retain the title.
Twebwe uyu munsi tugejeje gukina neza, ariko nk'abakinnyi banje ko nabone twakinnye cyane first half twagejeje gukina umukino wabo, nabo twakina umukino wacu nka Buffalo kuko bakinnyi bamwe muri Buffalo bari bamaze iminsi badahari, baragiye nko ngo nyine bimwe murabizi, so twari tumaze tudakorera hamwe, ariko ndizera yuko nubwo tubonye itsinzi tuyivanye kure, ariko muri semi final tuzatangira kimwe gitaha ndumva tuzatwamaze gukora tize turi hamwe, twamara kimwe dukora tize turi hamwe, ndumva tuzagera kwivugurura ku byo twakinnye uyu munsi. Ngiye kugenda navuga n'abakinnyi banje kuko biragaragara nabi kubera ko amugane nko kuvimbajije tumaze kubona ama red card ageze muri 4 cyangwa 5 kubera ntago abakinnyi bamwe bacu bafite indiscipline, ariko ndizera yuko tugiye kuvugana nabo kugira ngo dukosore icyo kintu nka Buffalo uburyo ko nk'uyu mukino tugiye kubura muri semi final na finali no mukino ukomeye ngira ngo murabizi, ariko kubera ko nyine umutwe yakiri atarakura mu mutwe cyane cyane ko ndumva ari World Cup yabonye bwa kabiri, so bivuze ngo umutwe aracyari ntabwo arakura cyane nk'abandi bakinnyi. Ngiye kugerageza mwegere mubwire yuko indi mikino izakurikiye neza akazitwara neza kubera ko aracyari umwana, ntabwo arandusha ubushobozi ku buryo nabura kumwigisha gukurikiza amategeko yanjye.
As the finals draw closer, 1,000 Hills and Buffaloes Rugby Club have given us a dress rehearsal of what we should expect in the playoffs of the National Rugby League. Arnold Quizera, Rise and Shine.
Arnold, some goodies you're keeping away from us there. You should have been on the field. I should have seen you there.
I mean, the knees don't allow me to play rugby.
You're getting up there in age?
I'm joining you soon.
You're joining my club. Okay, so tell us about Muhanga, Puma, 1,000 Hills, and the Buffaloes. Like, how is the league looking like these days?
The league is getting stronger. A lot of talent is coming through. 1,000 Hills is a clear example. This is a team dominated by majority of the players are aged between 19 and 21. They are, you know, when you saw the performance they put up against a team as experienced as Buffaloes, if you look at the Buffalo squad, 8 of their players were in Hong Kong to represent the Rwanda national team at the Hong Kong Tens the past 2 weeks. And this is a team that has played regionally. It has they've taken on they have represented the national team in so many times, so they have the experience over the 1,000 Hills. 1,000 Hills have only one player on the national team, but as you can see, these boys, the size, they were dominated in the scrums a lot by the Buffaloes, by the Buffaloes team. But you feel 1,000 Hills need to work on a few. Their set pieces are lacking decision making in crucial moments, because they broke the first line of defense so many times. As you can, the Buffaloes team struggle to tackle because they are not used to defending. But the number of times that 1,000 Hills was running at them with the ball in hand, especially from their material fly half Isimbi, you felt they could have used those opportunities, which they didn't use because of poor decision making with the last ball. And I think that's something they can rectify with their coach Juma, who's a very good coach going into the playoffs to take on Mohanga. Okay, let's move on to Oceania now, and what happened between Perth and the Stormers. The Stormers won that game. Yeah, Stormers. Everyone expected it to be an easy game for the Stormers against Western Force in Perth, but Stormers again. They're so similar to 1,000 Hills, if I will say so. Their decision making is like Nigel de Jong, and I think they're missing Gio Eplon because he has moved now to France. Cheslin Kolbe, 70 kilograms. He is the lightest man on that rugby pitch. You felt he doesn't give them the defense. So many times Nigel de Jong had to come back and make those tackles. There were question marks about their attacking play. One, you would feel that the center pairing of the Stormers, Nigel de Jong and Damien Dialande, should have taken on the Western Force quite more, but they did, and this is something the Stormers have to work on if they're to qualify for the playoffs in this year's Super Rugby competitions. Now, in July, our neighboring country of Tanzania has been awarded to host the Kagame Cup, but at the same time, after knowing that we'll be hosting the CHAN next year, we're now hosting the Sekafa Cup of Nations as well. I think it's a perfect dress rehearsal for Ferafa, being that they have to prepare for the CHAN 2016. They have to wait if they are ready enough. Question marks have been raised if we will be ready for CHAN 2016. Stadiums, the construction is behind schedule by over 4 months. The Turkish company, Batil, had to pull out, so there are still those negotiations. I think that's why we had the changes at the Ministry of Sports. But the Sekafa Challenge Cup has been forgotten, and this is the oldest tournament in African football. If for the tournament not to take place last year is a disaster. It's a tournament that brings over 12 teams in Africa together. So I think Sekafa need to check themselves. Nicholas Musonye, the head of Sekafa, so many question marks. I feel Sekafa, just like so many football bodies poorly run in the world, CAF, the FIFA itself, Sepp Blatter has been at the helm for a very long time. So even you feel Sekafa, they need to get these changes. Lawrence Mulindwa needs, I think, to also move aside. Nicholas Musenyi has been Secretary General since I was born. He has been the Secretary General of Sekafa. Now, for a tournament like Sekafa not to attract sponsorship, a lot is being done wrong. The president of Rwanda, President Paul Kagame, our president, he sponsors the club competition of Sekafa. Last year we hosted it here. I think we went to a few games together, I remember. Absolutely. Yeah. And you feel maybe Rwanda needs to win this tournament 2 years in a row to prepare for the CHAN, a performance. Most of our players are locally based players, and they will be in this squad for the Sekafa. So you feel it will be a perfect time for John McKinstry to weigh his troops before CHAN 2016.
A great dress rehearsal. Now, before we move on, La Liga, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are interested in what's happening at the top of the standings, where Barcelona and Real Madrid are still going at it. We had Lionel Messi scoring his 400 goal ever under the Blaugrana's jersey. What do you think is going to happen between now and the end, knowing that there's also the Champions League at stake?
It's hard to call. It's hard to call. I thought the Barcelona-Valencia game was going to be a hard one for Barcelona. It was an end-to-end game, and you felt they were lucky, especially being that when Luis Suarez scored after 56 seconds, Rodrigo missed a clear-cut chance on the other side. So if he had converted that chance, I don't think Barcelona would have gone on to win the game. Valencia threw away a penalty that was saved by Bravo in the early stages of the second half, and you felt that it's a game Valencia should have won. It was Valencia's to lose, being at the Camp Nou. Barcelona didn't dominate as they normally dominate. Lionel Messi, flattering scoreline 2-0, scoring with the last kick of the game for his 400th. What a remarkable player he is. But Cristiano Ronaldo again having another good season.
Goal number 50.
Goal number 50 for the season. He could have gone on to score 51 and 52.
Had he not been injured at some point or red carded at some point.
Yeah, and yeah, but you see that Ronaldo, Real Madrid doesn't look like they have a system in place. They depend on too much individual talent. You saw the beautiful goal from James Rodriguez, the stand after 1-2 with, again, Cristiano Ronaldo. Sergio Ramos coming up to the plate again. But it's going to be a tight end to the season between the two teams. Barcelona have the edge right now over
two teams that could very well meet in the Champions League. Arnold, Cuizera, you and I will be following this closely, won't we?
Very closely.
All right, thank you for giving us, again, your sports expertise.
Thank you, Regis.
All right, you're watching Rise and Shine Rwanda. Makena and I will be right back after the break.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda. Let's take a look now at news-making headlines here in Rwanda and around the world.
New changes are on the way for Kigali's ever-growing landscape as the construction of a $200 million park has commenced. Century Park will be constructed at the former Kigali City Park in Nyarutarama and will be made of villas, upscale apartments, and hotels. The 9.6-hectare land will be built up in 2 phases, with everything projected to be complete within around 6 to 8 years. Construction was set to begin in the coming days following a groundbreaking ceremony led by Infrastructure Minister the Honorable James Musoni and City of Kigali Mayor Fidel Ndaisaba.
A new ministerial order has been issued that puts criteria in place for the renewal of national driver's licenses. The order dictates the validity and requirements of renewing driving licenses based on specific age categories. Previously, the law stipulated 5 years validity to all driving licenses holders, regardless of age. Now, it provides a more practical guide for traffic control and assists the authorities to closely monitor the condition of motorists and their ability to drive.
The first ever Rwanda National Police Specialized Support Unit is currently undergoing inspection by UN officials just ahead of their deployment to the Central African Republic. The officials have praised the skills of the contingent, which is currently training at the Peace Support Pre-Deployment Training Center in Rwamagana district. The team conducted various demonstrations such as VIP escort and protection and weapon assembling, disassembling, and shooting. The overall skills of the contingent are reported to have been lauded by UN officials.
And in international news, hundreds of people are feared to have drowned after a boat carrying up to 700 migrants capsized in the Mediterranean Sea. The ship capsized in Libyan waters south of the Italian island of Lampedusa. So far, 28 people have been rescued since the start of the year. At least 900 other migrants are thought to have died crossing the Mediterranean Sea. In the past week alone, Italy's Coast Guard rescued 10,000 migrants whose vessels ran into trouble. A major rescue operation is underway as 24 bodies have been retrieved so far. Okay, lots more still to come. Lifestyle is up next, and we take a look at what's hot right now in our daily debate section, Hot Topics. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda. Lifestyle now. Makeda, what do you have for us?
Well, actually, it's going to be Motivation Monday, so Fidelis has something for us.
It's the money multiplier.
Today, in an all-new special episode of Motivation Monday, we discuss a topic that I find very interesting and I'm sure very many women will love to hear about. It's very beneficial. Well, in case you're wondering what I'm going on about, just take a look.
Well, there's been one big change in my life recently. I am 5 months pregnant, so that's the reason why you haven't seen me around. So it's been a big transformation of my lifestyle. But one thing that I haven't really changed is my workout schedule.
Oh yes, today we get to talk about the great myth about how pregnant women should not work out and some of the simple exercises that one can do to stay healthy during pregnancy and easily bounce back to their pre-baby body in no time. Exercises like burpees may seem ridiculous for pregnant women, but all these exercises actually have great benefits.
One of the really good benefits is easier delivery. If you happen to be fit before and continue to stay fit during your pregnancy. Increased energy, lower risk of other sort of symptoms that typically happen during pregnancy. And then, afterwards, possibly, it's easier for you to then, if you wanted to try to lose the weight, you've already been keeping up with some sort of routine, then it'll be easy for you to transition. And your doctor also will provide you some recommendations for after your pregnancy in terms of how fast you can get back into working out, but at least you would have had that foundation.
And from one pregnant mama to another, Janetta had to share this advice with you.
It's okay with your doctor's permission to work out, and I think more importantly, listen to your body. I think during that first 3 months, I think you find yourself to be more tired, you have lower energy, there are a lot of changes you're dealing with emotionally, and you're getting used to it, so don't push yourself. But if you feel the energy, and if you feel that you'd like to continue working out, and you've been doing it before, then please, you shouldn't feel like there's any restriction on the first 3 months and be concerned about doing certain things. The most important thing to note here is that if you weren't doing it before, don't start doing it during the pregnancy. So, for instance, if you weren't a football player before pregnancy, don't start playing football. It's probably not the best time to pick up new exercises, but it's a perfectly fine time to continue what you've been doing.
Well, there you have it. There's no excuse to why you cannot rock that baby bump and rock the gym at the same time. Karangwa Fidelis, Rise and Shine Rwanda.
Okay.
Good, huh?
It's very interesting, I have to say.
I know.
Like the last thing you think about a pregnant woman doing is exercising and going
to
the
the
gym.
Exactly, and it's crazy because it's not just you, and it's everybody. Naturally, you just think, you're pregnant, you're supposed to be sleeping and taking good care of yourself.
And eating a ton of
Well,
food.
exactly, but you can actually do that and still be fit. Because, what she was saying is, unfortunately, most people, like especially that I know, are not naturally, good. They don't normally go to the gym and they don't always exercise. But if you actually do it naturally, like now, like me, for example, since I go to the gym a lot lately.
We get it. You're fit now.
Yeah. Even when you get pregnant, you can still go to the gym. So it's a matter of you just talking to your doctor, and so that he can tell you your limits, what not to do, so that you don't push yourself too hard. But you can still work out and stay fit, stay sexy. It's very important.
She said that she's 5 months pregnant.
And look at what she's doing. I know.
It looks like
crazy.
she just had lunch or something.
I kept on telling her, I can't believe you're doing push-ups. I cannot do push-ups, and I'm not even pregnant. But she's that good, and she's very fit. It's crazy.
So did she talk at all about, like the proper types of food to eat? Because I know, especially here in Rwanda, but all over the world actually, when a woman is pregnant, here a lot of times the aunties will, make her drink a lot of sorghum or I don't know, eat a lot of food and make sure that, I guess she's healthy in whatever, our interpretation of that is, especially if a woman is breastfeeding or something like that. I think that the idea is that, you make sure that she's always full herself.
Exactly.
Is that the case?
Not really, actually, because from talking to her, she just told me she hasn't changed her diet much. It's just when her doctor tells her, you know what, you should eat this now because the baby needs that, maybe things a lot of calcium so that the baby's bones can become stronger, something like that. Then you incorporate it into your diet, but it doesn't necessarily mean, oh, now that I'm pregnant, I'm going to be drinking porridge 24/7. That's not the case. It's just eat whatever you've always eaten. Just consult your doctor before changing anything about your diet or adding anything to your diet. And like I said again, exercise. If you normally exercise, then just keep doing it.
You're actually debunking quite a few myths right now, at least that I had in my mind, because you said that she barely changed her diet, but another thing that I think of when I think of a pregnant lady, I think of someone who has these crazy cravings, who just needs ice cream in the middle of the night or chicken alongside a piece of cake or something. And yeah, so if she hasn't really changed her...
All the
her
more
diet-
reason to exercise. When you know, now that you're having the cravings, you might as well exercise, you know, it's really good. And there's some really good exercises that she mentioned to me. I mean, even for those people who don't exercise regularly, there's some things that you can do that are a bit easier on your body, like yoga. I always tell everyone I meet lately, I'm obsessed with doing yoga, although I've not started yet myself, but I feel like it's a good way for you to exercise, and it's easy on your body, you know, and, you know, so exercise are like that. And even when you have a trainer, I'm sure they can give you things that will be, like you said, always normally as the bigger you get, just avoid things that would be too hard on your back or on your abs because the baby is growing. So try not to do like sit-ups or exercises like that as the baby is getting bigger.
If it's even possible to do
Exactly,
sit-ups
exactly,
when you have a huge...
because and I think the most important word to quote that she said is, if you feel like it's hurting, if you feel like your body is just saying no to it, then don't do it. There's a reason why your body is doing that. Then don't do it. But if you feel like you're still go, then just go.
Do you think that yoga is a safe alternative for, you know, because she said if you haven't been doing something before you're pregnant, don't start doing it when you're pregnant. Do you think it's safe to start doing yoga when you're pregnant?
Personally, I feel like it's not that crazy of an option, but then again, like I said, consult a doctor first. It's like with all exercise, with everything, even meals, even something to drink, everything. Just consult a doctor first. Talk to your doctor, say, is it okay if I do yoga? They'll tell you yes or no, and then go ahead with it. But it's really good. Most importantly, everyone after the baby, they normally complain, oh, I've gained weight, or when will I lose it? This is an easier way to do it. Just stay fit throughout the pregnancy, so that even after the baby, it's easier for you to get back into your routine and to lose the baby fat. And then you're back to your, you know, hot old self, hot mama at all times.
Hot mama. Well, you definitely have got everyone covered. I love the fact that you're not leaving anyone behind. So, you know, to all you almost mommies out there, or I guess you're a mommy already.
Yeah, you can still do it.
Then, you know, there you go. Now you have what you can do, right? Anyway, don't go anywhere. Hot Topics is up next. Welcome back, and it's that Hot Topics time again. As always, the Rise and Shine team have been out and about, gathering everything you need to know about what's happening here and abroad, from what's trending on Twitter and Facebook to the debates in your local cafes and bars. We've got it for you right here, right now. And Hot Topics actually has taken a small break. So now we're back. So, you know, I'm happy to be with the family once more to chat about what's going on, right?
And have a debate and argument.
Well, let's see.
You look at me when you say argument?
You're the one, you're the difficult one. Okay, so first one. Stromae is coming to Kigali.
Finally!
Stromae.
There you go.
I can't, come on, man, I have to try it.
Yes.
So basically, Stromae is a huge star. He's a Rwandan Belgian singer, for anyone out there who does not know who he is, but I can't imagine who would not know. But he is, yes, he's half Rwandese, half Belgian, and he has never been to Rwanda before. He actually has a Rwandan father, and his father is kind of estranged. He didn't grow up with his father, and then his father was killed in the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi. So I suppose he never really felt the need to come. But anyways, regardless of the reasons, he is coming now for a full tour. So the tour is going to be, the Tournée Africaine. I don't know. Anyway, that's the tour, the name of the tour. And he's going all over the place. He's going to Dakar, Praia, Douala, Abidjan, Libreville, Brazzaville, Kinshasa, and of course he's going to end it here in, I suppose, his home. He's Rwandese.
Oh, the last performance is in Kigali.
The last performance is going to be in Kigali at Stade Amahoro. So this is kind of on everyone's fingertips and everyone's lips. Everyone is talking about
People
it. It's
are
trending on
excited
Twitter.
about him because they love his music.
What's the date?
So it's going to be June 20th. So make sure that you're there at Stade Amahoro. I've been seeing it all over Twitter, all over Facebook. Everyone is just going mad.
WhatsApp.
So,
Everybody's receiving
yeah,
WhatsApp.
on WhatsApp even. So Stromae, actually, if you don't know him, he's famous for the songs like Allo on Dance, which was huge all over the world, not just here in Rwanda, but all over the world. It's made him an international superstar. But also there is Papa Ute and Formidable, which was also a very...
Okay, don't just
Arnold has some singing talents we haven't
just trying to
discovered.
spoil this mood. this nice move.
People I can see.
So he's also known for his creativity. His music videos are extremely creative as well. He also has a fashion line. So he's an all-rounder. Everyone is excited to see him when he comes and, you know, just to be around him. So welcome home, I suppose I can say.
The thing that's great that I like to, you know, I'm going to make it about Rwanda because that's how it is. But the thing that's great about him coming here, he's arguably the biggest francophone artist at the moment. Arguably. I mean, if you think about it, there's no one bigger. Belgium, France, Quebec, he's the biggest.
You're the authority on that world.
He is the biggest. And for him to actually choose Kigali, I don't know if that was made on purpose, but for him to choose Kigali as the last date on the tour.
Well, he has his reasons. All we know is we love that he's coming and we're excited. And meet his people. And get to know his people.
Fidelis, yo.
Yes, I'm excited about him coming.
The way she's saying, see his people.
His people.
No. So yes, Stromae is coming. Welcome. We're gonna be so excited to have you in Rwanda and hopefully in Rise and Shine Rwanda. And that's happening June 20th. So you know, save the date. Now there is another hot topic. Actually, this is also something that everyone has been talking about, but this one is actually a very, very disturbing and sad one. The xenophobic attacks that have been happening in South Africa, and this. I mean, we've all been hearing about it. We've even had it on the news here already. But now there is a lot of repercussions happening. A lot of boycotts are happening. There's a lot of obviously angry people. People are being evacuated everywhere. Actually, Arnold, why don't you tell us a little bit more about what's happening?
Xenophobia, I think because we're in the social media era now, people are starting to pay attention to it. But something that has been happening, right?
They're quite known for xenophobia.
In South Africa for a very long time, and surprisingly, you know, it's the black South Africans. Africans are coming under a lot of attacks in South Africa. You feel, I think the problem comes from ignorance, one, because they're saying the people, the immigrants, other African immigrants are taking their jobs, but there's no way a doctor who is qualified is taking a job of a person who doesn't have the qualifications. You know, majority of South Africans must be frustrated with the economy. They got political freedom, but they didn't get economical freedom. And that's so many things to blame that on. The education system, you know, because there's no way you're going to throw out Africans who sheltered your freedom fighters if you knew your history. Yeah, and that's an example. I think Nelson Mandela must be rolling in his grave.
And there's some really bad examples too. I mean, I remember not too long ago, I don't know if it has anything to do with xenophobia, but not too long ago, the Dalai Lama wanted to go to South Africa. I'm pretty sure you heard about it. They refused him a visa. And now Desmond Tutu, who's someone who's very respected in South Africa and throughout the continent, is in India and got welcomed by the Dalai Lama, and there was no problem. So I don't know why they keep doing this thing of like being...
Repercussions should be taken. One, the Zulu king who said people should get weapons and go out against these people. He came back to change his statement on Sunday, and he said that he meant people to get hoes and guns, start digging, and you know, be farmers and the likes. But Nigeria, the Nigerian parliamentarians gave South Africa 48 hours, or else there's going to be a boycott on all South African products. That's ShopRite, DSTV, you know, the game shopping complexes, Mr. Price, which are all a big part of the South African economy, which they ship out to.
I mean, you and I know, and we can share with the girls, but Supersport, it's the biggest African channel we have on the continent. Imagine if it's gotten to the point where people are about to boycott. That's not
quite
a good
unfortunate.
And I think, again, it shows the double standards of the world, because I don't think if this had happened to the white population of South Africa, sanctions would be
the outcry would be totally like...
It would be a different story.
You saw what happened with Zimbabwe when Robert...
Exactly.
And sanctions were rolled out quickly. They're not saying anything. And then the irony is that the chairperson, the chairman of the African Union is South African, Dr. Zuma. So, and then the Pan-African Parliament sits in South Africa.
So it comes back down to just better leadership, honestly, because I feel like if the leaders, things like this, citizens should, you know, look up to their leaders, and if they feel that it's okay for them to do something like this in their country, and they have leaders who are supposed to show them the right example, then it's clearly the problem goes back to the leaders. Honestly, I don't think that
it needs to be more of a sense of urgency.
You have the police photographed next to protesters doing nothing.
And they're just
You know,
there. It's ridiculous.
The outcry, I think sanctions should be levied against South Africa for xenophobia for this xenophobia attacks.
Well, we'll see what's in the cards for South Africa, and hopefully things calm down, because it's becoming something that's it's anyway. Let's move on to something happier. This is Hot Topics after all. So the last hot topic that is on the list for today is a funny, silly one, I suppose, international one. So Hillary Clinton, we've spoken about her. She has announced that she's going to be running for President of the United States of America. So she kicked off her campaign with a video. We talked about the video a little bit last week, and it happened last week, Sunday. So the Monday following that, she, of course, you know, when you're campaigning, you hop on a bus or whatever it is, and you travel around the country to, you know, start talking to people and campaigning, basically. She was in Ohio, and she stopped for some food at a fast food chain called Chipotle. So they specialize in Mexican food, and it's kind of like Meze Fresh Hair, I suppose you could say. They're all over the country.
Now you got me hungry.
So
How can you make me want some Meze Fresh in the morning?
So early in the morning. So apparently she stood in line, and you know, and she got her food, I think a chicken burrito bowl, or I don't know, something like that. That's Chipotle there, Mexican grill. And basically no one even recognized her. So apparently someone got a lead that she was at the Chipotle restaurant at the New York Times, and asked the manager, you know, like for a comment, and he said he had no idea that she was there. Nobody recognized her. He had to look back at the surveillance footage, which is a photo which you saw just now, to know that she was even there. Now the question is, why is this such a big deal? Because there have been hundreds and hundreds of articles that have been written about this trip that Hillary Clinton took to Chipotle. So, you know, some people are saying, they're going a little bit deep into it. Some people are saying, you know, maybe she's trying to get that Mexican vote. Some people are saying, you know, she's...
And the likes.
But the thing is, if no one from the managerial point there at Chipotle realized that she was there, how is she trying to get votes? I don't get it.
But the thing is, it still made news, and it's all over the country.
It's a PR.
But who made it? It's a PR stunt, you think?
I don't know if it's a PR stunt or if it
Maybe
was just
she
that
was
she was
just
hungry. I mean, because also she could have sent someone in to get the...
That's where I think it's a stunt.
It's a PR stunt.
That part where she couldn't send someone. I mean, she's just running for president. I mean, she could...
So there's another question, though. Why is her going to get some food at Chipotle such a big deal, right? So apparently some people, I mean, people are saying different things. So some people are saying, like you know, it's a PR stunt, so you have to watch everything that people do. But there's also the fact that, you know, she kicked off her campaign, and so far there's no policy proposals or anything that she's really put out, and people are desperately wanting to cover this campaign. So when there's nothing yet to cover,
They'll
people
cover
just
anything.
dig.
And I also believe that when you're a
When you have a
Clinton,
good PR,
right? I believe that when you're a Clinton or a Bush or someone from those families, the Kennedys, I believe that any and every of your move will be scrutinized to a point where you have no idea. So I just believe
Exactly.
that...
So do you think that maybe she just walked in because she was hungry and she was like, you know what,
PR
everyone's
stunt.
busy, let me just
Maybe
look
it's a
and get
stunt,
my
maybe
own
it's a
food.
stunt, but if it is a stunt, the media is
working.
going to spin it 100
Exactly.
ways. So, I mean...
We'll have to look into this more deeply, I think, too, because, you know, she's a Democrat. Now Barack Obama is going out. What does that mean for us Africans or Africans who want to be migrating to the States? I mean, you know, there's a lot of things to discover in that,
Well,
but not
don't-
today.
I have my views on Democrats.
Don't forget we love to hear your thoughts, comments, and feedback on what we're talking about here on Rise and Shine Rwanda. Tweet us at Rise and Shine or W. Like us on Facebook and send us your ideas for programs. Check out our Rise and Shine Rwanda YouTube page where you can catch all the shows and the reports we do daily. Find us on Instagram, Rise and Shine or W. We'd love to see your pictures. Or check out our Rise and Shine Rwanda website.
Well, that's all the time that we have for today. We love to hear your feedback, so do let us know if you have any ideas for the programs. You've been watching Rise and Shine Rwanda with me, Makeda Mahario.
And me, Regis Isheja, will be here same time, same place tomorrow. Do join us then. But for now, from the both of us and this family, this great team here, have a great day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.